welcome into the Sporty Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Sara, and a lot to get into today. We have the Coppa Italia semi-final, second leg, the derby dello Madonnina tonight, Inter Milan versus Milan, and Premier League action, and La Liga action. And later on in the show, we're going to have some fun because we're going to take a look at our predictions for the Serie A, Premier League, and La Liga that we made all the way back in August. So I guess we'll see how wrong we really were.
How right?
You don't want to see yours. I'm your host, Sara, and this, my friends, is KlintonCod.
Oh, yes. Like I said, we're going to see how right I am because I'm the only one who's always right. I understand that back in where I come from, they say women are always right.
You were going to say back in the day.
How did you do in the quiz yesterday?
I came first, but it was rigged by the person who we are yet to introduce after you. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get there is Alex Ashmore, who has pretty much introduced himself already. Alex, take it to the one that rigged the show already. Yesterday.
Lots to talk about today, yes. Shantelle, back again, but no sporty jumper today. You didn't fancy going...
After rigging it, why would you want to give any...
First of all, it was not rigged. Clinton lost fair and square.
It was rigged?
You know, empty barrels do make the most noise. That's Clinton.
Wow.
But yes, I'm back and I will be here on socials, so send all your comments and I'll be checking them and presenting the best ones.
Please send all the comments to directly to Shantelle. Make sure you're writing her name to tell. Ask her why she rigged it against KlintonCod. But Shantelle, please, next time, do not rig.
It wasn't rigged. You lost fair and square. Just accept it and move on.
No, I did not lose anything. God
There was wrong question, though. The Lamine Yamal was. That wasn't your fault? That wasn't your fault?
No.
Producer?
It was part of
Producer Ben?
No. But she...
in my ear. I'm getting notes from Ben. All right, let's move along, though, because we have a lot to get into. Let's start with La Liga, shall we, guys? The title race continues. Clinton, you'll be heading to the Coliseum later this evening because Getafe are taking on Real Madrid.
No, absolutely. It's going to be a very tough one. We pretty much see how much Getafe have been in the season so far. Currently, I believe... If I'm not mistaken, I think they are currently, according
12th,
to the
you're
table,
right.
12th, exactly, which is not too bad, to be honest. When you see how competitive.
Competitive.
No, in all honesty, I think that's meant to be the right word in the dictionary. But whoever was putting these words together was just...
Thankfully, they did it correctly.
No, they didn't do it correctly, though. It's meant to be competitive.
The KlintonCod dictionary.
No, and I'm going to be releasing that dictionary very soon. But no, Getafe is going to be a very, crazy game. Cristiano Ronaldo, my boy, from Nigeria.
Sent off last game, so...
What?
Yeah,
That's
red card. He was on my worst 11.
That's true. Yes. Cristanto's. Why now? Oh, God. I already had a lot of plans for that game today, especially for him. But, no, that's calm. That's fine. I think, irrespective of whether he's there or not, Getafe, they're still a very strong side to play against. When you look at where they are in the table, considering how, like I said,
Try one more time.
competitive.
Yeah, well done.
That's actually very wrong. So when you see how competitive the...
Why are you struggling with the word today?
How well they compete.
How well they compete.
Just compete. I can't believe I'm teaching you English, man.
I mean, what should you be doing? Is English my first language? Is your
I
first
know,
language.
I can't believe I'm teaching you
Do you know how to
English.
speak my language?
Pidgin. No, I don't know how to speak Pidgin.
You don't know how to speak
But
pidgin.
you know how to speak English.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, apparently not.
No, I mean, but I mean, the fact that you're still able to have some really good conversations with me, though, is to tell you I've done better than you because you know nothing about mine. I know a lot about yours. Do you see it? So, anyways.
Spanish.
My Spanish?
No, Alex, I didn't want you to go there because now we're here. Let me interrupt you actually really quickly because I got so excited about La Liga. I forgot to tell everyone at home what games are coming up this week on Sporty TV. And Shantelle, there is a big one later today. We have basketball, Real Madrid and Olympiacos in action. Do you want to give a quick prediction?
I'm going for Real Madrid to win.
Yeah.
They have to win.
All right. Well, Real Madrid in action in the basketball, 6:30 GMT this evening. Later on, we have CONMEBOL. Copa Libertadores with Olimpia taking on Peñarol, and tomorrow Independiente versus River. We also have Club Brugge versus Gillois. Bolivar versus Palmeiras. Back to the Libertadores. Over in the J-League, it's Kashima versus Nagoya. In the Chinese Super League, Beijing Guoyang versus Henan. And La Liga High Promotion, Cádiz taking on Sporting Gijón. In Argentina, San Lorenzo takes on Rosario Central. Back to the J-League with Kashiwa Niigata. Over in Australia, we have Newcastle versus Western Sydney. And the EFL Championship sees Burnley, newly promoted, at QPR. In the English Premier League, we have Brighton versus West Ham. In Germany, it'll be Frankfurt versus Leipzig. And guys, it's the big one, El Clásico, the Copa del Rey final. Barcelona versus Real Madrid this Saturday in Sevilla. And Clinton and I will be there covering it live for you. On Sunday, Western United taking on Sydney FC. And it will end it all off with River Plate and Boca Juniors. All right, guys, lots and lots of football coming your way. Back to La Liga. So, Clinton, you won't be seeing Cristante Suche, but you will be seeing Getafe and you will be seeing Real Madrid. Are you leaning one way or another, especially since Barcelona carry that win against Mallorca, just ever so slightly with a 1-0 win, but that puts the pressure back onto Real Madrid.
No, absolutely. I think, first of all, Barcelona, I don't know if I would say...
We'll get to it.
Okay, we'll get to that.
And then we'll circle back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But no, I mean, considering where Barcelona are in the table, they are still not slacking. They still keep ranking that 3 points. I think Real Madrid just don't have any option other than to win this game they have against Getafe. Now, are they capable of winning Getafe? Fact is, they are. In as much as we pretty much understand that they might not be playing to their highest level of football, especially with the caliber of players that they have. Now, and I know you've mentioned that we should not go into Barcelona just yet, but when you look at the performance yesterday, sorry, just for like 30 seconds,
you just do what you want.
No,
We're
absolutely.
passing through. It's his world.
But when you see the absentees from Barcelona, especially knowing that these players have only just gone out recently, and they were players that were not played in that game, they were still able to deliver some kind of win. I would expect Real Madrid to be able to do justice to Getafe. Of course, Getafe and Mallorca might not really be on the same, path when it comes to how strong they are as a team, but, it's still a fight in the La Liga, and there's no team that's classified as a small team. When you look at what's been going on in this league, the smallest team could beat the biggest, and the biggest could also, anybody could beat anybody. We've seen Leganes, we've seen Getafe, they've beaten, whether it's Barcelona or Real Madrid, whatever it is, but, it's not a title to just decide to say, nah, this is what's going to happen. Let's just fold our hands. Everybody on paper, I would say Real Madrid easily should be taking these 3 points. But, you just never know what happens. And, of course, by 11:30 tonight, we would find out.
Alex, it is a Madrid derby, no less. And obviously the pressure is on Real Madrid. But Getafe won't want to give that away easily, especially being at home. And we know the Coliseum tends to be a bit of a tricky one for the away team. Yeah,
and you look at their position in the league. If they play well in these last 6 games, they could find themselves in a European spot. So there's a lot to play for them. Real Madrid, of course, looking to keep the pressure on Barcelona after their win yesterday and stay within reaching distance of their rivals at the top. And obviously no Kylian Mbappe tonight. Him and Ferland Mendy both out. And, I think Ancelotti said yesterday that they should be back for the final on Saturday. But one really key player missing and one in the defence there that's also going to be important, because no matter how much football or the amount of football that they're playing these days, the bigger squad you have, the more it can help. And I look at this game tonight and I think Real Madrid will get the job done. It will be tough, they know that. But if you look at history and you look at the last few games between these sides, Getafe haven't beaten Real Madrid in their last 6 meetings. And I think 5 of those 6 meetings, they haven't scored. So history points towards Real Madrid, but all can happen. Everything can happen in football, and all will be revealed later tonight, as Clinton says.
Well, for you guys at home right now on SportyBet, Getafe to win this one 6.31, with Real Madrid the heavy favorites 1.63, and if you're thinking it might be a draw, that's at 4.02. Shantelle, the pressure is obviously on Ancelotti after the week that was and all the rumors following the Champions League exit. So he's going to definitely want to perform well for however many games he has left, because at the moment we don't really know how long Ancelotti has and whether he'll be here next week, next month, or next year, as he said.
Yeah, I want to say that the pressure is definitely on for sure. And when you have a key player like Mbappe missing as well, it doesn't, you kind of feel, well, as a Madridista myself, I'm not very confident.
But you did say last week that Vinny and Mbappe play better without one another, right?
Yeah,
So maybe-
No. That was a comment. I was reading comments.
Didn't you say Vinny played better in the second leg against Arsenal because Mbappe had to come off because he looked kind of injured, and that's when we saw Vinny putting
Those weren't my words. Those were comments.
Those were comments?
Those were comments.
I think I agree with those comments, though, to be fair. So maybe that means Vinicius Jr. will be shining this evening because no pressure of Mbappe, and that left wing is completely his own.
That could be it. And again, the pressure is definitely on for him. And Real Madrid, it's a very tight race going on now. So I think they will have to turn up. They don't have a choice but to at this point.
All right, well, stay tuned to socials as well because you know KlintonCod will be all over that this evening. Side angle, filter on. All right, Clinton, let's talk Barcelona because, yes, Barcelona did get the win yesterday against Mallorca. A 1-0, no less, but I'm going to let you start because I don't know. There's a couple places we could go with this one, but I think I know where you'll go, but I'll let you take the lead.
No, Sarah, I think I don't even know where to go because, I mean, we were pretty much watching the game probably at the same
Yeah, we
time.
were. We were just...
I mean, yes. I mean, I just said the same time as if, you know, the games happen to different times and you're watching it, you know. But, now, listen, yesterday, I don't want to say Barcelona performed, you know, less than we would expect. You know, we clearly see that they played everything and, you know, the only thing that they were just not getting was the goal. And I think we've got to give extreme credit to the goalkeeper.
Leo Ramon.
Yeah,
Wow.
oh man, the guy was, I think if there's any team that are looking for a goalkeeper, especially maybe a Manchester United, I think we should be looking at Mallorca and that guy called, is it Leo? Leo? Yeah. The guy, I don't know if he eventually got the man of the match.
He actually didn't because Pedri got the man of the match.
Really?
Yeah. I felt for him, but to be fair, Pedri in that game was
No. Mallorca keeper deserved the man of the match yesterday.
You wonder
against
if it's because they
Arsenal.
lost, though, because you know how sometimes sometimes the man of the match, it doesn't go to the losing team, it goes to
No,
the
but
winning
I
team.
think, in all sincerity, though, I think that's something that they need to change because, you know, we clearly saw that if not for that man, we could have easily seen maybe a 7-0 or 8-0 defeat against Mallorca. But with how many saves? There was a point where my man, according to the stats, he made about 12, you know, crucial saves for that team. And, you know, Barcelona not even being in their 100% level when you consider the fact that, you know, they had to start an Ansu Fati, who everybody pretty much understand that this guy is just trying to find his mojo in that Barcelona side. And I was very happy to see him obviously start. You know, we pretty much understand that he has something in him that, you know, since he's had the injury, we've just not been seeing it. He's come back and he's struggled. He's gone to Brighton. He's come back. He didn't really give the level of performance you would expect from an Ansu Fati, whom we thought was going to be the Lamine Yamal that we see shining for. Obviously, I mean, Lamine Yamal still has time to prove, but we just know that with his kind of talent, you know, this one is, you know, one to watch out for a long time. I mean, like I said, we thought the same for Ansu Fati, but injury came in the equation and changed a lot of things. But yesterday, did he have a good game? He maybe had a good game. However, the fact that there were some targets that we would expect him to hit, you know, he was just not hitting them. And it was almost like... you know, Barcelona was not the Barcelona that we would have seen torment in Mallorca of that level of play. We saw the ball possession. Everything was just on Barcelona yesterday.
You have to take into account the context of the amount of football that they've played. And I think we saw that in their game against Betis.
Absolutely.
Mallorca are no bad side. They're pushing for a European spot and
absolutely.
could even find themselves in the Champions League.
Absolutely. But, Alex, when you consider the fact that, first of all, you don't have a Koundé, right, whom we understand he's not just a defender, but he's somebody who pushes on that attack for Barcelona.
Just on Koundé, 104 consecutive matches. The last time he didn't play a match was November 2020.
I saw that, exactly.
Allow him to sit on the bench and take a breath.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, when you see what that man brings to the team, and the fact that he wasn't there, connection with Lamine Yamal, number one. And then when you also look at the fact that you don't now have Balde, who is a very serious guy. Do you understand? Like, you know, and then you now not have Rafinha starting the game at the same time. We know how critical he is for that guy. I mean, and that's the good thing about Barcelona. It's actually so sad that I speak about Barcelona in this manner because I should be speaking about Real Madrid the way I speak about Barcelona. Sometimes I feel sad. But when you think about how effective every single player in that team tends to be, starting from the goalkeeper, whom with the amount of smoke in his system, my man still delivers some serious level of performance. Like, let's literally go through every single... Like, when you think about Barcelona, the goalkeeper, you then go to the defenders, you then go to the midfield. You're speaking about the Gavis, the Pedri, you know, you then go to the wingers, you're talking about the Lamine, the Rafinha, you now speak about... Like, there's just so much quality in this team. And now, you take out a whole bunch of them who were not able to start, right? And they still managed to have that much position. On a Mallorca, whom Alex just said, they are pushing for European football, and if possible, who knows? They might, I don't know if they push even crazier.
If they finish 6th
Yeah.
and Athletic Club win the Europa League, Mallorca will be in the Champions League next
I mean, so you see. So for Barcelona to be able to play Mallorca in that manner, like I said, their savior yesterday was the goalkeeper. If not for the goalkeeper, I'm telling you, would have been...
4, 5,
I mean, the Spanish
7,
man
8,
would
9,
say
10.
it would have been fatal, like extreme fatal. But like I said, you got to give credit to the goalkeeper. Do you see? So for me, was I impressed with Barcelona, with the people who started the game and the ones who were absent? I give it to them. We saw Lamine Yamal miss one of the craziest chances I would have seen in football in my life. For a Lamine Yamal. Listen, I love him as a player, God knows. You know, yes, I'm a Madridista. However, if there's any one player in Barcelona... if there's one player in Barcelona whom, listen, it's Lamine Yamal is the guy to watch, right? But that one run he did, of course, perfect run. He got the ball. One-on-one with the goal. Oh, bro, now showing me this stuff, you're tormenting me. Like, how?
It's a bit...
How?
He was expecting the keeper to
react to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Keeper stood still.
I knew that was, no, please, let's take it back to that clip again because I tried to listen. Oh my God, no. Listen, if Lamine Yamal had scored that one.
Save was everything.
No, this was a save,
Yeah,
Sara.
he
that was
extended
a save.
in the air.
No, you could see with that slow-mo. And look at this one as well. Bruh, this guy saved his team.
Just on Le Ramon, Barcelona had 40 shots yesterday, more than any other club in La Liga over the last 15 years. Le Ramon only let one in. So, I mean, that just goes to show you he had a busy night out.
No, he had a proper
those are the matches
busy
you come
night.
off and you're seriously out of breath. And I mean, listen, the defense of Mallorca as well helped him, but he was unbelievable.
To give you an idea, Dani Olmo touched the ball 69 times. The Mallorca goalkeeper, Leo Roman, touched the ball 56 times.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
This is Dani Olmo playing in the centre of the field.
Crazy.
Like, he had a brilliant game, and obviously the goal...
Do you know the funny thing? At some point here, I felt like, of course, Barcelona did have all the ball most of the times, right? But with how much saves this guy did, I felt like they deserved just 1 point. You know, just one each. Of course, they did score a goal.
That's where you have to blame Mallorca.
Which I felt...
I feel like Mallorca could have done a lot more to get a goal. I don't think
Kyle
they did enough.
Yes.
Going forward, they seemed, heading into the last 20 minutes, they seemed...
Momentum changed when they made those subs.
I think they seemed content with... Content may be the wrong word, but they didn't seem... There wasn't any urgency to go after the win. Yes, you could say that they don't want to attack too much and then risk conceding 2 or 3, but there wasn't that urgency or that
no, but in the last
forward.
20 minutes, that's when Mallorca actually turned on. If they played like that for the entire match, you know, when they made those subs closer to the end, we saw Kyle Larin come off especially. He was in a Ronald Araujo.
What, 86th minute?
Yeah, I mean, that was horrendous. Yeah. But there were subs being made from the 70th minute onwards, and that's when it seemed to, when Dominic came in for Mallorca, that's when the momentum changed. 18-year-old little superstar he is. It looked, the momentum changed. They were pressing Barcelona more. They were playing up a higher line and, you know, putting Barca under some pressure. You wonder if they had done that the whole game, maybe things would be different.
If they'd have done that for the whole game,
Barca's going to play the counter.
5-0,
Yeah. Just one note regarding Pedri, man of the match in the end. He has the most recoveries in La Liga this season with 227. 56 more than anyone else in the league. You got to give respect to the young man. He is absolutely incredible to watch. Alex, you made a comment regarding the context of Barcelona. Now, Barcelona, not in action until Saturday. They got the win they needed. They rested several players. Koundé, Rafinha didn't play a whole match. Lamine didn't play a whole match. You know.
Hansi Flick still seemed hell-bent on bringing them on, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they had to get the win. It was an important game. But sometimes you think about those situations. You think, do you really need to bring that player on? I know Hector Fort hasn't played loads this season, but I'd rather see him play out the whole 90 minutes than risk bringing someone on. And
he was exhausted, though.
Yeah.
Like you could tell. But to be honest, I think the experiment of him playing over Gerard Martin proves that I better see Hector Fort on Saturday.
Eric Garcia didn't do a bad job.
Just the finishing.
Yeah, I think as a replacement for Jules Koundé, he's a solid replacement. He's not perhaps the best right back in the world, but he's
a versatile player for Barca. They kind of just put him wherever. All right, let's welcome Gary Al Smith to the show. Hi, winner. Gary. Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
How are you feeling? Are you, the hangover of that victory, is it hitting you?
Wow.
This man got in at 3 a.m. last night.
Yeah, I did. And I couldn't find my way. When I woke up in the morning, I had a terrible headache. I had to take some Tylenol, had some extra coffee. Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
He was going around telling people he won the sporty quiz, and they were like, what?
Hi, guys.
Hi. Obviously, you heard us. We were just talking a little about Barcelona. They got the win in the end yesterday, and now all eyes go to Real Madrid, this ping pong we've seen, especially in the last few weeks in La Liga. But the pressure's on for Real Madrid tonight, no doubt, correct?
Correct. And it was interesting listening to you guys talk about something we previewed yesterday, that Barcelona were not going to let up on the starting 11. Like, they were going to throw everybody important in the game. And they did. Because it was too important to bring in their team B, for want of a better word. They needed everybody who was in good shape, was in top form, to be available for this game because they don't want to risk it. And I don't blame Hansi Flick either. Even though, like we said yesterday, every game from now till the end of the season is a World Cup final and it's a Champions League final on its own. And because of that, I don't think that they are going to let up on any player and give them less minutes because they have to rest or whatnot. Sorry, guys.
Gary, but obviously yesterday Rafinha didn't start that game. Do you not think that was part of it? I mean, did Pedro start the game?
Pedro played the whole game, and Pedro has to play every single game.
No, I mean, but for me, I feel like I don't know if I would define the Barcelona yesterday as everything they had. Of course, I'm not. There's nothing you could do about injuries, but we know how crucial Rafinha is, and I would have thought that if Hansi Flick wanted that kind of urgent win that Gary has just mentioned, I would have been seeing Rafinha starting instead of risking an Ansu Fati, who they would classify as a rusty player.
But that's where you put priorities. That's where priorities come into it because they've got the Coppa del Rey final.
No, of course, I know that, for real.
Inter Milan on.
But I think that's the point he's making. They didn't put a starting lineup. Rafinha got rest, Koundé got rest.
Yeah.
They were able to give Ansu Fati minutes for the first time, since January. We saw Hector Fort getting minutes. That was an experiment between, who's going to play, Gerard Martin or Hector Fort. I think in the end, he was able to play some of the starters while giving other people rest and experimenting. And now there's enough time to look forward to Real Madrid this Saturday. Shantelle, I want to come to you quickly for a little social media action, if there's some juicy comments you want to get to.
Yeah, so I was going back and forth with Facebook and YouTube. So AD Samuel says, Getafe win or draw.
Ooh.
Sounds like he's standing by Getafe.
That's possible, though.
Said he's been a Getafe fan since 57.
I mean, that's exactly the year I was born as well. So,
God.
Crazy.
He's finally embraced the joke.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Someone else says Real Madrid to drop points today, and I saw a bit of those. Prince Opoku, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Real Madrid will draw this game, although it's not a good result, but that's the reality. But on the flip side, I saw some saying that Real Madrid will win. All eyes on Real Madrid. I got a few Predictions, I'm seeing 2-0 for Real Madrid. Gem Song also says Real Madrid 3-0 for Getafe. So it's a bit of mixed vibes going on in the comments. Yeah.
Okay, well, double chance for Getafe tonight at SportyBet. 2.25 if you guys are feeling it. Clearly some of you are, but that's what you can get. Gary, let's talk a little Arsenal, shall we? Because they're in action this evening against Crystal Palace. Big
Tricky.
night.
It's quite an exotic way to say an East London team.
Crystal Palace. Yeah, that's
Tricky,
it.
tricky.
Okay, talk to me. Tricky. Why is that?
Palace can be a problem on a good day.
Today's a bad
And
day.
yeah, Palace are not as straightforward as Ipswich Town, you know. And you seen their last game? Saw their last game?
Yep. Very. I think they won the game and they won it proper.
4-0 against Ipswich.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the word,
Ipswich didn't offer anything. Leif Davis got sent off in the, I think, 36th. It was early in the first half, wasn't it, Gary? And when
even though it was
they're
Ipswich
already
as
gonna
well.
struggle.
So what? We've all played Ipswich Town the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, who are you guys talking about? Crystal Palace didn't play Ipswich. Arsenal played.
That's what we're talking
Weren't you talking about who Crystal Palace played?
Yeah,
Gary?
talking about who Crystal played.
Oh,
Yeah,
they played
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, they drew 0-0.
Bournemouth,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they had a man
Chris
sent off,
Richards.
and we had some Crystal Palace players that we were looking at because they obviously did well to hold their own going down a man. No, Gary, against the Bournemouth, no less.
That's what I'm saying. You saw their last game, you know, even with 10 men, I mean, they put some really good stiff opposition. I don't know if we have recovered from the hangover from last week, you know.
You've not, and that's okay.
What happened last week, Gary?
I'm not sure. Something in Paris.
Yeah.
Something in Paris. Yeah. So I'm not sure about Crystal Palace. I'd say would eke out a 1-0 win, but I'll be genuinely surprised. And if we should win like 3-0 or 4-0, I'm going to sit up and say, these guys do have championship mettle about them, you know, because I've not really regained my trust of Arsenal, despite the heroics of the last fortnight. You know, I've had this lingering distrust of the team because of their form in the previous month or 6 weeks, up and down, unsure which Arsenal turns up today, the whole tinkering of the formation. And now with a Champions League semi-final coming, remember immediately we qualified for the semi-final. I was saying that, guys, what do Arsenal do now? Are we going to do a Man United where we are going to decide that, guys, and obviously Mikel Arteta is not going to tell everybody and the players and the fans, look, we're in the semi-final of the Champions League. Everything else that happens in the Premier League is going to be secondary. Obviously, he's not going to say that. But I'm hoping he's going to do that, you know, and do what I was expecting Barcelona to do yesterday. Rest more of the key players and allow some of the other ones. So in the Premier League, from now till the end of the season, I'm going to play a lot of Iwaneri. A lot, if I can. You know, give him 90 minutes till the end of the season, especially in the league, and a couple of those other players as well. And I think that will be good. And based on that, if that happens and we have that kind of starting 11 being trotted out, I would say that it will be a narrow win against Crystal Palace or a draw. But if we put out a full team, definitely a win. Absolutely a win.
It's the similar situation for Crystal Palace, actually, because they've got the FA Cup semi-final against Aston Villa on Saturday. So you're looking at their position in the league. I don't think they're going to trouble any of the European spots. They obviously can't get relegated. They haven't got as much to play for. Given the importance of the FA Cup and the achievement that it would be for a team like Crystal Palace, and that's not me criticising them in any way, but the achievement of winning the FA Cup for any team is massive. But for a team like Crystal Palace, who don't compete for trophies year in, year out, they've got that golden opportunity to add one of the most coveted trophies in English football to that
All the
cabinet.
eggs in that basket.
If I was Oliver Glasner, I'd be looking at this game against Arsenal and thinking, where can I rest players? I'm looking at Jean-Philippe Mateta. I'm thinking, sorry, mate, you're on the bench tonight.
Come on, Crystal Palace. Come on, do that for us. Rest the key players. Come on, Crystal Palace.
I'm looking at Eze, I'm looking at Munoz, I'm looking at Wharton. These are all players that I want fit and raring to go for Saturday because Aston Villa now knocked out of the Champions League. They're still fighting for Europe. Obviously, a disappointing loss for them last night against Man City. This is going to be a really tough game. And for Crystal Palace, they need to have all their best players fit and available to potentially book themselves a spot in the final of the FA Cup. Because for Crystal Palace, winning the FA Cup, that would be a wonderful achievement.
Absolutely.
Massive.
That's massive, man.
Absolutely. Gary, just on I didn't get to ask you this yesterday, but obviously Alex said that City won. We saw Mateus Cunha in the final moments of that game get the win for City. But even with that win, if Arsenal win tonight, you know, that gap becomes, 9 points or so? 8 points, I think. And at this point, we all know they're not catching Liverpool. But what I wanted to ask you was about the Champions League, because you have a team like PSG, who, as we all know, do not need to play any league games. They don't need to show up. They don't need to, if they want to have a nice training section. But we saw them draw Nantes yesterday, 1-1. Doesn't matter. They've already won it. What does that how does that affect Arsenal fans right now and Arsenal players in the team, knowing that they are going to be able to rest a lot more players? And right now, you're talking about Mikel Arteta having to figure out that weight management with players in the Premier League as well.
Well, I don't think they are going to envy the PSG. I think they are going to envy the PSG players, obviously, because they'll have more rest, more. PSG will have a bigger ability to rest players, try different things in the league games, all the sorts of tinkering. They're basically going to have 2 or 3 high-profile friendly matches before playing Arsenal.
Yeah.
Where they are going to tinker different set piece styles and different things and all that. But for Arsenal, I think it can be the same thing as well, and that's where, for me, Arteta needs to be able to put it at the back of the minds of the boys that, you know what, it may be Crystal Palace, even if they trot out a good team, every single match until we meet PSG is an opportunity for us to test something as well, because it's unlikely that the guy behind us is going to usurp us or gazamp us or take over our second position. I doubt that's going to happen. So we are going to put out a squad that's good enough not to lose, but that's also good enough to ensure that we are competitive, because you don't want the guys in the team to have, this is especially of PSG. And I think that actually, guess what? The bigger weight of managing the players' mentality will be on Luis Enrique.
Because, for sure. Complacency.
Yeah, complacency. Because if you don't show up every single match day between now and that Arsenal game, or whoever they were going to play in the semi-final, how are you going to maintain match sharpness? Arsenal don't have that problem, because for them, every match is a final. The biggest thing Arsenal need to look out for is the injury bug. All right? Yeah. So if I am Mikel Arteta, I'm playing close to my best team, yes, but I'm going to look at the load management schedule. Those who are obviously in Rafinha territory, in Koundé territory, you give them a rest, obviously, And then others like Pedri, you can give them the 90 minutes, because they are the metronomes of the team. And I mean, those guys, they seem to be running on batteries, like extra batteries and stuff. So
Tiger battery.
That's what Tiger. Yeah, Tiger. Man, you're OG, my friend. Bro,
I took you back in time,
you
right?
You took me away, man. Where were you born, man?
1957.
1957. My goodness.
Gary, Arteta said that Bukayo Saka would be ready to play against Crystal Palace, but I'm assuming you're hoping
he should. He should.
So you want to see him on the pitch this evening?
Well, he needs all the match sharpness he needs. He's only recently back from injury.
But are you not worried about that injury re-triggering itself?
Bukayo is in half and half territory here. Like, we need him not to get injured, but we need him to stay sharp. You know, that gray area. Yeah, so maybe then you play him 60 minutes. You ensure that you tell him, if you see a tackle flying at you, you jump immediately. No 50-50 balls. You don't jump
If
into
I'm
any tackle.
Mikel Arteta, Bukayo Saka's not getting anywhere near that pitch.
That's what I would think as well. But Gary,
He's wrapped up in bubble wrap. He's
I agree, though.
in the stand. I'm giving
how
him a
does he
nice
maintain match
blanket,
sharpness?
gloves, hat,
I mean,
everything.
come on, man.
No, because
Cup of tea.
like everybody pretty much understands. There is no way Arsenal will do anything in the Premier League in terms of. I mean, they are pretty much secured to play in that Champions League football.
Sure.
You know, there is nothing in terms of like. You know, I don't think there's anything they are fighting for in the Premier League.
in a sense, similar to PSG.
No, of
PSG
course.
has won it. Arsenal have pretty much not won it, but they don't have much left to fight for.
Yeah. So in all honesty, in my opinion, I think if there is anything Arteta could do now is to, you know, prioritize the best games and say, okay, you know what, listen.
But Clinton, Alex,
Yeah.
Sarah, how does Arteta then keep the guy match sharp before the game, before the
He's been playing plenty of football since he came back from his injury. 90 minutes of football isn't going to make him Ronaldinho by next week. 90 minutes of sitting in the stands, or maybe even in a warm room in an office in the stands, in a box where he's not outside, will do him the world of good.
with some coffee or something, yeah?
Coffee, a nice dinner, go to bed early. To be honest, if I was him, maybe don't even bother coming. Go home,
Stay in
watch it
bed.
on the TV,
Yeah, watch it from
have
the
a nice
TV.
evening,
No.
do what you want.
Feet up.
Well, if I was him, I would not even bother watching the game because he could even get injured from
Okay,
watching
well,
the
let's
game.
stop. Ridiculous.
No, because imagine him watching it and then they score Arsenal some kind of
Look.
stupid goal, or Arsenal score some
What's
kind
his name?
of beautiful goal and then he reacts and hit his leg on
Clinton,
on TV.
Bukayo is not Abu Dhabi. He's not so
Manuel Neuer.
he's not what's his name again? What's the name of that guy? The Spurs player, the great defender who was always injured, Ledley King.
Ledley King, yeah.
Look, Clinton, that guy could watch a football match from the stands and get injured before that. Like, I'm not even kidding. Yo, he and Abu Dhabi, like,
Oh, I know.
no, it was crazy.
Shantelle, if you were Mikel Arteta, does Bukayo Saka get anywhere near this pitch tonight?
I would rest him.
Yeah. Not
Definitely rest him.
Not risking it.
No, definitely not.
Listen, Gary, we saw what he did against Real Madrid, and yes, Declan Rice got so much praise for that, but Bukayo Saka was unbelievable. You can't. You're going up against PSG now. I can't. I just can't see it. I think it would
When
be
is the
silly.
PSG game again? When is that PSG game?
Next Tuesday, my friend, at the Emirates.
Oh, 29th.
Yes, sir.
Nah, we are arresting him.
Did you think it was in another week's time?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Earth.
No, we are arresting him. Actually, we are going with
but
Clinton's
then again, you guys
suggestion.
will be surprised
He's
to
not
see.
getting anywhere near that stadium. If I'm Arteta, like, sleep.
But hang on. But what if he plays tonight though? Like, what will be your reaction? Are you gonna get pissed or are you?
Gary's going to be stressed the entire
He'll
match.
be
Nah,
praying the
stress.
entire
Like-
match.
yeah,
And nothing
like I'll be
happens
like-
to him.
like,
Screaming at the TV the whole night. Take him off.
Yeah.
like when he gets the ball, anytime he gets the ball, one pass.
Quick 1-2s. That's all I
Yeah.
want to see.
Don't take anybody on. Don't take anybody on. Just get the ball.
I think that's the bigger
Hey,
thing.
Declan, get the ball. Hey, get the ball.
No, I remember when my coach in Luton was saving us from. Was it?
Here we go.
All right, I'll end it then.
No. Carry on.
I'm not carrying on, man.
Why not?
No, you've just killed the morale, man. I was going to tell you a story in football that.
You know, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
You know, no, you're not going to hear it. You keep ruining it, bruv. You just keep ruining it. You keep ruining it. Ruining it.
No, that's South London accent, man.
Nah, actually, there is a video of it. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah,
the video
yeah,
of the guy.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he was in this car, and
right.
it was it's a very funny stuff, and it just went viral from there. You stop. How do you stop? You just keep ruining it. You just keep ruining it. That was the funniest.
Fun with friends on
How
the
did we get
Sporty
here?
Show.
I don't know.
All right, well, Arsenal, the favourites against Crystal Palace this evening. At SportyBet, 1.41. Crystal Palace, 8.61. And the draw,
Wow.
5.10, Gary. So all eyes are on Arsenal and favouring them as well. Do you agree with that? Yeah. Is that a bit harsh for Crystal Palace, or do you think it's fair enough?
No, I think it's fair. I think everybody is putting Arsenal in that, beating Real Madrid has its benefits, reputationally. Like, it's the sort of thing that for one whole month, you show up everywhere and everybody's like, it's a big deal.
All right, Gary, I know you have to leave soon, but before you go, just quickly on Man City last night and that win against Aston Villa. That's now 7 games unbeaten for Pep Guardiola. They're now in 3rd place, looking like they're going to secure a Champions League spot. I just want to ask you, after this entire season that happened, after the crash and the burn and the ups and the downs that we've gone through, it looks like Manchester City are going to finish in the top 4, secure Champions League spot, obviously have an insane summer transfer window. They've already signed a few, one being Omar Marmoush, as we all know, a great striker, and we still want to see his full potential. But that's not really that bad, is it, in the end?
I don't know what it says about the Premier League. I don't know what that says about the Premier League. I'll leave it to you guys.
Okay.
Like, for them to be that bad, and Pep, you listen to the post-match presser, he said, we have been bad. Like, no cap. That's what he says. He says that the season has been bad for them. He said, even if they win the FA Cup, even if they get Champions League football, for them, the season has been bad. If the season has been that bad, then it means the Manchester City standard is quite ridiculously high. The standard we set for them and the standard that they set for themselves, isn't it? But yeah, they are going to win 3rd. And then I don't know what it says about the other teams in the Man Uniteds, the Spurs, the Chelseas. Guys, you need to back up. If City have been this bad and are still getting 3rd, what are you doing, bros?
That's why I get my early Premier League prediction in next season. I think Man City are winning the Premier League.
It's definitely possible, honestly, because I think with the fact that with everything that's happened with Manchester City this season, having new players coming as well.
Rodri will be back.
Listen.
I spoke about this last night with someone, and just that alone, it's just.
Yeah. No,
Gary looks in there. He's like,
no, I know. City next season is going to be proper some abysmal stuff because we're not speaking about the fact that just Rodri coming back. Of course, maybe Kevin De Bruyne obviously is not going to be there, but
they'll sign someone new.
No, definitely. First of all, they're going to have somebody who's going to probably be on that Kevin De Bruyne level. But it's not even about. It's about the fact that some of the guys that have been signed this season, I believe that this first season is a season for them to marinate into the team, and they are doing it excellently. When you look at the likes of Mamouche and what's the name?
Kusanov.
Although there's
whom we
featured a lot recently. He's been
but I
on the
think
sidelines.
he played the last game, didn't he?
I
think he did.
There's
Actually.
rumors going around that he might be on the outs with Pep, but it's hard to. That's all speculation. We don't know what's going on for sure.
And even Gonzalez as well. Like, you speak for me. The person I'm even literally having my eyes on crazily is having Mamouche, and Haaland is not currently there. But listen, next season, I don't think Man City would be smiling to anybody. Like, it's going to be very. Oh my God! Hey, wait! I want to dedicate a whole good 5 minutes for that young man. Listen,
James McAtee as well. He's been playing a lot.
Actually, very good as well. Yeah, but you see O'Reilly, right?
He's going to be a star.
That guy is a star boy.
I think it's focusing on certain players. Like, does Savinho now get that wing? Is that his own wing? With players like Phil Foden, I'm curious.
Phil Foden is done.
But that's what I mean.
I was speaking to my friend about Phil Foden.
If he goes, then this allows for players like Savinho and then maybe Jeremy Doku to come off the bench in like the 60th, 70th minute. It's just giving these players, Mateus Cunha. I mean, they haven't been given a lot of time. There's so many players in each position at City. So
yeah, no, definitely. And listen, I feel so bad for Phil Foden, knowing that he was one of the guys I thought was that feature of Manchester City. He's going to be one of those players.
What's happening to him, though?
It's
so weird, isn't it?
I don't understand, Gary. It's crazy when you think about it. Like yesterday when I was seeing him in the bench, I was just analyzing. I was like, wait, this guy is meant to be.
Is it burnout? Did he pick
for real? You see, the way we're speaking about Bukayo Saka currently and the rest of them is how I would have thought we would be speaking about a Phil Foden, knowing how talented this young man is. Like, at some point, we were even comparing him. And when you think about the thing, though, it's not just a Phil Foden currently. When you even look at Chelsea and a Cole Palmer currently, it's almost like there's just some drought happening with this player.
No,
think,
that's what I'm
to
saying.
be
Is it burnout, guys?
I
Is it
think when you
burnout? Are
look
they
at
just...
it's natural that these players at young age. You look at Cole Palmer, I think, is a slightly different scenario to Phil Foden because Cole Palmer is the centre of that Chelsea team. He's the one that they revolve the play around. Phil Foden, I think, has been chopping and changing his position. Pep Guardiola's been playing him on the left as a 10, on the right. He hasn't really found a fixed position for Phil Foden. And you look at when Phil Foden has been on song, it almost feels like he doesn't have any weight on his shoulders. But you see him now, if you can sense that pressure. And I think the summer off, obviously, they've got the Club World Cup, which is unfortunate because of the amount of games that they'll have to play. But oh no, City are in the Club World Cup, aren't they?
Yes.
They
should.
Yeah. So it's for Foden. I think he just needs to have a reset, start again next season because he is a fantastic player. He's a wonderful player. And when he's playing, and we've seen him under Guardiola play fantastically, and we know he can. So I think it's just a case of resetting recharging the batteries, resetting his mind, and coming back fresh next season.
Listen, okay, well, first of all, for the person asking, I know this is meant to be for Shantelle, Coppa Italia final is definitely going to be on Sporty TV on Saturday, if that's what you want to know.
In South Africa only.
I mean,
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for that.
I didn't know.
Look, they've been killing me here. They've been killing me here,
Gary,
bro.
what do you have to say to everyone?
Oh, my God.
Bro,
Representative
like,
from Ghana right here, live on the Sporty Show.
bro, you should see our mentions. Like, what did I do? Yo, what did I do?
Tell them to get a VPN, man. It's very easy. But anyways, let's not go into all of that. I mean, I didn't want to say it, but if they have sense, they better go do something about that one. I mean, I know I shouldn't be making that kind of statement, but...
You shouldn't.
No, well, I mean, I retract it, but if you want to use it, that's your business. I apologize for telling you to use a VPN, because I do sometimes.
Stop while you're ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so like everybody is going like, yo, what did I do? Yo.
It's all your fault.
I mean, I've seen
but the
I've seen it
interesting-
come from
you know the
Nigeria,
interesting
man.
Yeah.
Nigeria,
If it was-
they message me on Instagram DM. They say,
If it was Copa
do
del
you guys
Rey-
hate us? Why is everything going to South Africa?
Yeah.
Why?
And then they're like, pack out of Ghana, pack out of Nigeria. Like,
Now, but let's
You
come
know?
back to my
City.
boy O'Reilly, though. I'm sorry, because I said 5 minutes and 30 seconds into it, you guys took it to Phil Foden. But now, listen, O'Reilly is part of the future of Manchester City. And I don't know if he's come from the academy of that team or he's come from somewhere else or he's come from the academy, yeah?
Yep.
Listen, he's a star boy. Listen, now, because he's taken over the wing of Guardiola, because we will see Guardiola play the left wing of Manchester City on a good day. Like in the last game, we saw Guardiola playing in the central back, which normally I would not expect a Guardiola to play that central position for Manchester City. And the fact is, he did deliver. The one thing about Guardiola is, you know, we've got to give him credit for what he does, not just as a defender, but even as that attacking person from that left wing. He does exactly what we will see in Nuno Mendes from PSG. Like, this guy is so good when it comes to... Sometimes the only thing I would say is, you know, when he's done all this running in front and, you know, he starts losing energy, running back becomes a problem. But I would also understand that when you look at his size, there are a few things that comes into... consideration that would affect that momentum of going just the same way we see with Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé is always very good with running back and forth, leading that attack. But when you look at that O'Reilly with his age, right? My man is not just skillful. Have you guys seen this guy running in between players as a defender?
And he's not naturally a defender as well.
Oh, really?
He's a midfielder. His natural position is midfielder / attacking midfielder.
My
That's
man
why
is
he has
the-
that ability to run.
Listen, he's a joy to watch. See, every single time I'm praying that pass it to O'Reilly, I just want to see him touch the ball. Because Gary, let me tell you how good this guy is. Even when he touches the ball, you know how before you are passing or disseminating the ball to anybody, you know those few touches when you're trying to just listen.
you know what they always say? Like, there are some people when they touch a ball, you're like,
Yes,
this is a footballer.
thank
Thank you, Gary. That's exactly this guy. Listen, that's exactly what I seen. All right, like when he touches the ball, I'm like, this guy is born to play football.
Of his 39 passes last night, he only misplaced 5 of them.
Wow. No, do you guys see how many balls he sent to that 18-yard box? Like even the way he. You see, the way I speak about Lamine Yamal.
Clinton, I saw a thing on Twitter, on X. Lamine Yamal.
Gary, don't worry, I gave him a look.
No, listen. No. Of course,
You know,
both of them. No, the thing, he had to replay your head again. No.
Yeah, he replayed in my head. I'm like,
of course, no. I think that's too much, right? But
the young man has a lot of potential. There's no doubt.
yes,
that's all you want to say.
Of course.
So I was saying, somebody was writing on X the other day when I saw after the Real Madrid game, and someone said Lewis Skelly versus O'Reilly. Very interesting.
Funny enough, I had this conversation yesterday. This is actually.
Oh, you did?
I had myself and Julius.
Oh my
we
goodness.
had exactly this conversation yesterday.
Where did it go? Where did it end
No,
up?
and I, like I just chanced on it and I saw a few people. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's nice that we have a new generation already of players being, except
compared.
that we've learned our lesson in the last year, just in the last year. Because last year by this time, we were dead on doing Cole Palmer, Phil Foden comparisons.
Yep. Definitely.
Like we seriously were. A year later, burnout. Which is why we should all respect some of the guys who do it so consistently
Yes,
without a break.
yes,
They
yes,
go
yes.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years without a break, and so on. Yeah, I saw Lewis Kelly, but they are two different players, aren't they, guys?
Who, Lewis Kelly and
Lewis
O'Reilly?
Yeah, I mean, Lewis Kelly predominantly is a defender. I think
Yes.
he's more.
Yeah.
He's a bit more robust when it comes. I think he's not as attacking as Nico.
Yeah,
O'Reilly,
Yeah.
exactly. I was going to say that.
But
yeah,
I think
yeah.
when you look at
He's more of the intercepting and
Yeah.
just not letting you go. Like he's doing the job of a defender.
Yeah.
I think
for Lewis
with
Kelly.
Nico O'Reilly going forward, he's phenomenal. Lewis Kelly going forward offers a lot, but I think when you look at Nico O'Reilly, you can tell that, and this is not a criticism on Lewis Kelly because he's not an attacking player, but you can tell that not only is Nico O'Reilly a good defender, but going forward, he's just got that extra something, having played in an attacking midfield role before growing up. You can tell that sometimes you see defenders there maybe a little bit cautious, understandably so, and I like them to be when they're going forward, but you can tell that he's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can take you on. I don't care
Absolutely.
who you are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
I agree with that. I think you've literally just said it the way I would have said it.
I think I've maybe not always said this and maintained this, but I think, and I said it already, I think Man City will win the Premier League next season, and I know it's a very early prediction, but I think
Super very early prediction.
yeah.
Sorry, I want to interrupt you, Alex, because when you said that, I got a glimpse of Shantelle. Shantelle, I need you to speak on this.
But I think this Man City team will be even better than Liverpool. And Liverpool are losing Trent. Van Dijk's not
Conor
getting
Bradley.
any older. Not getting any younger. Salah, I think the question is there if he can prove it again. I think he will. But there's always that risk that he's not getting any younger as well, that he might drop off.
He won't.
There are strikers in that team, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, inconsistent at times. Liverpool, I think, do need to bring in some reinforcements.
Okay, so I saw a
keep their level.
comment, and I do agree with it 100%. If Liverpool make the right signings, I think Liverpool can do back-to-back league.
So
but
who's great signings?
Keep sleeping on us. So when we do win back-to-back, it's greater because clearly Slot knows what he's doing with this team. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Who's the right signings? Like what positions are you looking for?
Not gonna lie, we do need a striker, and we've seen the links of Isak, and that would be great.
Gary's like, we got something to talk about over here.
If we get him, that would be amazing. I mean, you speak about VVD not getting any younger, which is true. But I think he still has one more year to him.
I don't
Salah
doubt that
as
he's got
well.
the capability.
No, maybe 2 years, actually,
Trent
Shantelle.
is giving us
I think
mixed
VVD
signals
can
and
give
playing
you
with our
2
emotions.
years.
But I feel like we have a Conor Bradley who has the potential and can step up. I mean, he's no Trent, but come on. Slot seems to can do something with this team. I wouldn't be surprised if we do win back-to-back.
I don't see it.
I think it's going to
Alex,
be...
you're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm just
You're
being
a hater.
realistic.
No.
I'm just giving my opinion.
It's going to be interesting because we've seen what Liverpool has done this season. And Chantal's right, if they do make the right signings, they'll only get better. But Man City's not going to be a team to sleep on. And don't you worry, Gary. Arsenal also have done so well considering the amount of it. Got you. I think if Arsenal make the right signings, you can make the argument.
That if, though, is pretty big, I think.
I don't know. Yeah,
the way that
sure,
they haven't been bringing in the right players.
Fair, fine. But maybe this is a bit of a wake-up call that they need. Maybe also, I mean, let's see how they do in the Champions League. That extra boost is always very nice. So I think it's going to be a very, very tense at the top of the table. Gary, we'll let you go. We know you're a busy man of the world and have many things to do. But enjoy the Arsenal match tonight, and we'll see you very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, and enjoy the rest of the show. Cheers.
Hasta luego.
This is to
Thanks,
be people
Gary.
to see.
It's a silent boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Quick one, guys, before we jump to some Serie A action. The lineup for Real Madrid has been announced, and I just want to go over it with you. And Shantelle, maybe you can read some comments because I did see some already. But some changes being made here. Courtois, Lucas Vazquez, Asensio, Alaba, and Fran Garcia will be the back four. Tchouaméni, Valverde, and Arda Güler getting the start with Brahim, Endrick, and Vinny Jr. Anyone? Shantelle, Alex, Clinton, any comments at the table?
I like it. I
Okay.
think given the game on Saturday in the Coppa del Rey final, I think they had to rest some players. There's still a lot to be played for in La Liga. I think this is a really important game. You look at the back four, I think I still obviously see the weaknesses there with Lucas Vazquez and David Alaba. But in the midfield, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Arda Güler, I think there's something to be made of that midfield. I'm glad to see Valverde. I think he'll take a really prominent role tonight in that midfield. I think he'll be the one leading it. I think, hopefully, looking at that, it means that Arda Güler will be playing in a more central role, which is where we know he can do better. Brahim, we know how good he is on the right. Endrick playing through the middle, I think he could cause a lot of problems for that Getafe defence. And Vinny will know how well he can play on his day. I think it's a good selection from Carlo Ancelotti, given the players that he has at his disposal.
Shantelle, we're seeing Bellingham, Camavinga, Modric, Rodrigo, Ceballos, Rudiger all on the bench. Do you think that this is the right call, like Alex said, knowing that they have a big match on Saturday as well?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't the same when we're talking about Arsenal and resting Saka because you know they're facing PSG. I feel like that's the same thing.
But
Real
the
Madrid
gap's
is
much
going.
closer between Real Madrid and Barca. Like
Yeah,
Arsenal
so I
catching
feel like
Liverpool would be a miracle.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to just take precautionary measures. They'll have Mbappe, so I guess they're resting Bellingham and resting Camavinga, etc. So I think that's what they're going with this one.
Clinton, your thoughts? And then Shantelle will come for some comments.
Now, in all honesty, right, you see, I pretty much would understand what Ancelotti is doing with this starting lineup. Like you guys have said, any mindful manager would obviously consider a final, especially when it's not just an ordinary final this year or Clásico. You would obviously want to have the best and make sure everyone is fit enough to be playing that game. Now, this is a game against Getafe. We pretty much understand that the La Liga league title is still very open for anybody. We pretty much, I think, if Barcelona is winning their game, Real Madrid, the best thing they can do is to be winning theirs because they slip one. They're even making the gap even much more wider. Now, the question here is, this team, this starting 11, are they good enough to be beating a Getafe? That is where the question lies. Now, when you look at that defense, in my opinion, this would never be a very strong defense for a Real Madrid to face any team, considering the fact that we see Real Madrid struggling recently, especially with the last 2 wins. In fact, our last, we saw Valencia being a proper threat to Real Madrid. We saw what's the team that came to sorry, we'll see. I can't remember who beat Real Madrid at home recently.
Valencia.
Yeah, it was Valencia, right? And then obviously Athletic Club was just a 1-0 victory by that, 93rd minute goal with Valverde. Now, now when you have this, will I say depleted kind of defense facing Getafe. Now, I will look at Getafe and this team, and I could imagine a player there saying, listen, gladly, they have a final this weekend. We have some kind of saving grace to see that the best are pretty much not on this team, or the way the team has now been But the one thing I see here as a positive thing is the fact that we have Valverde being that leader that's going to carry this team, especially from that midfield. Arda Güler, you guys know my opinion about him. I don't think I have extreme confidence in him, but maybe Tchouaméni, fact is I've seen lately Tchouaméni is somebody whom is almost like he's beginning to get that mojo back in for Real Madrid. You know, he works extremely hard recently, and he's the guy whom I know should be pairing with that Valverde in that midfield as a leader. As Arda Güler, like I said, you know, he's just going to see these guys and maybe try to up his game and, you know, try to make decisions himself and not be that weak baby in that team that I believe he's been most of this season. Vinicius Jr., of course, I don't know if that myth of when Mbappe is playing, Vinicius is better, or when Vinicius is playing, you know, vice versa, right? Let's see if that happens with the Getafe today. Is he able to go past defenders? Endrick, we know how crazy that young man can be in front of that goal. You know, he just needs to get that chance. And my man would sink in. Of course, recently we've seen him, you know, take some shots that you would expect him to be having on target, but he's just sent it to South Korea. Now, we want to hope that in this Getafe game, he's going to just be that guy that would not want to, you know, miss all them kind of chances. Brahim, on the other hand, when he's on, he's superb. And when he's not there, he's just hidden somewhere. So I think this starting lineup, in all honesty, it's not the best, but we understand why. So we're going to, you know, give Ancelotti the credit to say, we understand what you're doing here. There's a very important game against Barcelona. You don't want to lose that one, especially knowing that you've lost twice in the last two Clásicos. And this is a Getafe. This is not Athletic Bilbao. You know, this is not an Atletico Madrid. This is Getafe. Yes, Getafe, you know, they're, you know, still one of a good side in the La Liga, but you don't need that full Real Madrid team to come and face them, knowing what they have just on Saturday here. So let's see what happens, man.
First starting La Liga match for Endrick. So we'll see what the youngster can get up to. Shantelle, let's check in with some comments, shall we?
Okay, I have a mix of comments going on. So, FC Barca, someone who goes by the name FC Barca says Real Madrid will score more than 3 goals in this game. Talking about the one with Getafe to pose a threat to Barcelona for the finals on Saturday. Mr. Digital says Madrid loss will give Barcelona a big advantage, so I'm hoping for Real Madrid to lose. He also says, keep up the good work, guys. Phenomenal says Arteta should be careful and not start Declan Rice because of injury, because Partey's not playing the first leg of PSG. I also saw some predictions. Crystal Palace winning 3-2. On the other hand, I saw Arsenal winning 3-1. Then we had Markinde, who was reacting to the starting 11. So much risk, I smell danger. Then Anka says what Pep has formed with this current Man City at this later part of the season, he's forming destroyers for the next season. Encrypted G says Salah has been very consistent. It's a little fair to say it's a safe move to keep Salah on the Liverpool squad. I believe next season we'll see good news for transfers that will improve things. I hope so too. Raymond says, just one good season and you're talking about back-to-back league titles. To be fair, everyone thought that Liverpool would flop after Klopp and we went on to win the title. So I think that we can only go up from here, but that's just me. Football 1975 says, I guess this is a prediction into the future. Why do I think that United, Burnley, and Palace will be relegated next season?
Oh my God.
That was a bit funny.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're getting a little out of hand, maybe.
I agree with one of those.
And I hope it's not the one that wears red.
Okay. Let's jump to the Serie A, shall we? There's Serie A action tonight, guys. Parma taking on Juve, Cagliari versus Fiore, Torino versus Udinese. That fight for 10th and 11th place going at each other should be a good game. And Genoa and Lazio. But also a quick update. All the Serie A matches that were meant to be held on Saturday are now being pushed to Sunday because of the Pope's funeral. So there's a match on Friday, and there's the rest of them on Sunday with 3 matches on Monday. So a little bit of 4 matches.
Goals galore already tonight in the Serie A.
Yeah.
Half-time. Cagliari 1-1 against Fiorentina. Lazio 1-0 up against Genoa. Genoa have a man sent off. Parma are beating Juventus 1-0.
Incredible.
Wow.
Win for Parma, and Torino are beating Udinese at 1-0.
Yeah, that Torino-Udinese one is going to be a fight because they're separated only by goal differential. They're tied for points, 40 apiece here. But, yeah, I mean, listen, Juve need to hold on to that Champions League spot. The Serie A is one of the best leagues this season. I mean, there's so much drama all across the board right now. If Juve do lose, Alex, they're going into 5th place, tied for points with Lazio, who are up 1-0 right now. But Roma play Inter this weekend, and if they win, they can jump the 2 of them. So it's all kicking off in the Serie A. But there is also Coppa Italia action this evening with the Derby della Madonnina, Inter versus Milan. 1-1, guys, was the first leg. Bit of a shock considering maybe how good Inter have been and how disappointing Milan have been. Obviously sharing the San Siro, but this time it will be Inter at home. Alex, surely it has to be Inter, but you can't say it because it's a derby.
There's been 4 derbies this season. Inter have won 0.
Yep.
2 wins and 2 draws. Well, 2 wins for AC Milan and 2 draws. Of course, the other win coming in that Supercoppa Italiana. And obviously, yes, AC Milan haven't been at it this season, 9th in the table at the moment. They're 10 points behind the top 4. Barring any miracles, I don't think they're going to finish inside the top 4. They may push for a European spot. Even that I find doubtful. I think Lazio, Roma and Fiorentina are too good. I think, like you said at the beginning there, in terms of surely it should be an Inter win. I think with these games, form, the classic cliche, form goes out the window.
No,
I think it's too difficult to say, especially with what's on the line. And we know obviously Bologna beat Empoli 3-0 in that first leg, and you would assume that Bologna will be the other team in that final. AC Milan have a point to prove. I know that this season hasn't been their season. They got knocked out of the Champions League quite disappointingly, and they're not at it in the league. Sergio Conceição has been up and down, I think, since his appointment back in January, and it looks like, and all the rumours are pointing towards his exit in the summer. But AC Milan haven't won a Coppa Italia since 2003. They've won 2 games against Inter already this season. They're unbeaten against Inter this season. They've got a point to prove, I think. And yes, they're not the home team, but they're at their stadium, so it's not the same. I know Inter will have the majority of the fans there tonight, but when you look at how it all stacks up against Inter, the pressure, of course, with their Champions League game against Barcelona in the week and the title race that they're in, Napoli pushing them and going toe-to-toe with Inter, I wouldn't be surprised. This is not me saying I think AC Milan are going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if AC Milan picked up a win because the pressure is on Inter. It's a win-win for AC Milan. They can go in there, play their hearts out, go all in, guns blazing, and try and win this one. Inter have got some things on the line, and I think might have one eye on the next week.
Yeah, but they also came off of a loss over the weekend.
They've got a point to prove as well.
And they got a point to prove. They're also one of 3 teams left in Europe going for the treble. It's incredible for them. This is their biggest rival, their city rival. And Clinton, we've seen Milan this season. I mean, I know we talk about Nottingham Forest being one of the biggest surprises in football this season, but I think it's safe to also say that AC Milan might be one of the biggest surprises as well, in the sense of how disappointing they have been. 9th in the Serie A. I mean, Clinton, if they win this trophy, does that kind of, save this season whatsoever, or would it just...
Well, I mean, you might as well say the same thing for teams like Manchester United. If they win the Europa, does it save the fact that they were good or bad?
9th is not 14.
No, but I mean...
You have to scroll to the next page.
No, of course, but I mean, when you look at the caliber of these teams we are mentioning, when you look at obviously AC Milan, being nice just sounds very abnormal. Like this is a team that you're supposed to be looking at saying, top 4, top 5, top 6. At least if it's too bad, at least top 6. Not going 9th. Like it just feels like, this.
Sorry.
No, wait. No, I'm just trying to imagine, because a team that's in 9th position, you're giving me the vibe that you're just an average team in your league. So there's nothing special about you. Like, are you trying to tell me you don't have a Rafael Leao in your team? Like, of course, it doesn't take one person to win a game. But when you look at
There's
the kind
nothing
of...
average about the rest of the team, though.
No, I know.
Like Maignan,
That's what I'm
Gianni
saying. I just mentioned only one.
Tammy
Of course.
Tamori.
You can continue mentioning them. You can continue.
Jimenez,
You
I
can.
know he's just coming back, but
Just a quick update for those of you at home. Fiorentina have gone ahead against Cagliari. It's now 2-1 for the Tuscan side. Getting very interesting. But I mean, you have to favor Fiore over Cagliari at this point in the season. They've been given that push.
Claudio Ranieri sat on his sofa at home hoping his old side can do him a favour, I think.
Maybe. Sorry, Clinton, I interrupted you.
No, of course. I mean, I was just saying, I think I've said pretty much what I wanted to say, but it's just very shocking to see. But Sarah, just to answer your question, I don't think it changes anything. You win. I think this is just a final.
It's not going to cover up how bad the season
no,
was.
it's not going
It'll
to
be a
cover
moment
up.
of glory and
Of
then
course.
still have to look within.
Absolutely. It's the same thing we would say with any team. When I mentioned Manchester, they win Europa. Of course, they've gone unbeaten the whole of that competition. But when you come to the Premier League, what do you have to show for it? Like, yes, you can be happy. Yes, we have a trophy. But where are you in your league?
I think that's also the big difference as well. For United, they win the Europa League, they get Champions League.
But it still doesn't cancel the fact that they've been rubbish, though.
I'm not excusing that in any way, but for AC Milan, should they win the Coppa Italia, they get the Europa League. It's some sort of resemblance of this hasn't gone entirely... Yes,
bad.
It hasn't been awful. It's been awful, but it hasn't gone as bad as it could have gone.
Oh, no, absolutely. Of course. I mean, I could accept that. I think for me, I would see it as more of some kind of consolation. To say you've been really bad, however, at least you got this one that puts you on some level that if you didn't win it, you wouldn't be there. It would have been totally bad.
Yeah.
Do you see? I think it's just something for the fans to be happy about, at least.
Yeah. Well, because of that goal that Fiorentina just scored, Cagliari are now switching places with Parma, as Parma are beating Juventus, and they are now 16th. Alex, they're just 5 points up from the drop zone. It's all very close, and obviously these teams that are playing are going to have a game in hand against the teams that are playing on Sunday. So the Serie A just continues to heat up. But how about we go and give some goal predictions for, not goal predictions, game predictions for tonight's Coppa Italia. Just quickly, on Sporty Bet right now, Inter are the favorites, ever so slightly, to win this match at 2.25. Milan, 3.38. And the draw is 3.46 if you fancy extra time or maybe penalties, because I'm going to start off with the predictions, and I think that's exactly where this game is going. I see extra time. I think it would be classic between these two sides. There's fight from both, as we just said, and it wouldn't surprise me if they have to push one another right to the very end. I'd like to see penalties, maybe not, actually. By the time I get there, I'm always like, stressed out and having heart palpitations. Even if it's not Barca playing, it's always tricky to watch. But we know the intensity of the Milan derby, Alex. So I'm going to go for a draw in the 90 minutes. But I think Inter will get the job done. AC Milan have proven to just be a little bit underwhelming this season, unfortunately. KlintonCod.
2-1.
2?
1 to Inter.
2-1 to Inter.
Yeah.
Wait.
Do you think Inter are going to win?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, guys. You went 1 to Inter. I thought was all right. 2-1 to Inter. Lautaro Martinez, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I have a very huge trust in that guy, man.
You're telling me, Alex.
0-0. Tammy Abraham to score the winning penalty.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So you're going all the way to penalties.
What a prediction.
Tammy Abraham to. Tammy Abraham may not even be on at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't even know. Although he is a sub, so he might be. But that's a specific prediction.
AC Milan to win on penalties.
No, you can't take it back.
Okay.
No. You've heard it here first. Shantelle, prediction for the Coppa Italia match?
3-1, Inter will win.
Woo! With confidence.
Yep.
No.
I saw a comment right here, though. Daniel Graf?
Oh,
Graphic.
graphic.
Oh, my God.
Graphic.
Where really?
Get
You
up
don't know, you don't know who that is?
graphic.
Wait. Do you not know who that is?
It's the
Bro, that's Pablo Escobar's younger brother, man.
Stop.
Jesus Christ.
Stop.
Bro. Okay, right. Let's continue.
My bad.
Now, no, listen. For the fact that you don't know him, tonight, watch your back. Like, before you sleep, use 2 padlocks. Yeah, lock both. You know all those windows you usually leave open for fresh air. Lock them tonight. Yeah, just the fact that you don't. Sorry, man.
Stop while you're ahead,
Chantelle,
please.
Chantelle, you're done. Sorry. No, this is not Jamaica. This is we're talking about.
Are you done?
No, I'm letting you.
Are you
like
done?
you will be done tonight.
Okay. Well, he's supporting AC Milan.
It's one of his 8 teams, actually. He has, what was it? Ajax, River,
Inter Miami.
Venezuela, Argentina,
Brazil.
Netherlands, Brazil probably gets in there at some point. Yeah. So, all right, fair enough. He's going for his one of many teams. We'll see what happens. But Shantelle, you disagree. You're back in the Nerazzurri in this one. 3-1. Any other spicy comments before we move along?
I'm seeing Football 1975 saying Inter 4, AC Milan
Wow.
2.
I'm happy for it.
I'm also seeing 2-1. I guess Street Fighter is saying that AC Milan will win. I'm also seeing Inter 2, AC Milan 3. So
Wow.
it's a bit of a mix going on.
I hope some of these are right, because that just sounds like I'm going to have an enjoyable evening.
Yeah,
watching
no, for
football
real, for
later
real. Trust me,
tonight.
trust me. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that I'll be watching Hendrik, do whatever it is. But I think these are really interesting stuff to want to look out
You
for.
can have it on the phone. You can multitask.
I mean, it's not.
Speaking of Endrick, do you see him scoring? Because there was a poll going.
I
Will
see Hendrik
Endrick
scoring.
score
actually.
tonight?
I see Hendrik scoring.
Yes.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
52% no, 47%. And there is also a debate on Facebook. Someone says a hat trick for Endrick.
Hat-trick.
No,
And
come on.
someone
That's,
said,
see that.
someone
Tell
is
the-
like, no, he will not even score one.
tell the person that whatever he smoked, I need it tonight too, because I think tonight there's a lot of games that you need to be in that mood to. Hendrik score a hat trick tonight though? Come on, man. I will score a hat trick first before.
I don't see it.
That means Endrick's never going to score a hat-trick in his career?
He
Oh.
will eventually. Maybe
Not if you're
But
going
just
to
not
score
tonight.
first.
No.
Reel him in. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Alex, I think me and you have some booking codes this evening.
We do.
I'll
We
start
do.
with mine as it's about this Coppa Italia match.
Go for it.
All right. Well, in this one, let me actually pull it up. I wasn't ready. I thought I was, and I wasn't ready. But I've gone for a mixed bag here, because obviously it's a final. Anything can go. And I stayed away from a winner as well, just because within 90 minutes, you don't know what can happen. And if it does go into extra time, remember that picking a winner doesn't really count. So I've gone for under 2.5 goals. I can see this being another 1-1 in the 90, and then we go into extra time. Over 7.5 corners. Obviously, we're going to see both teams trying to pounce on the offense, both teams to score. Well, I've really set myself up for a 1-1 in regular time. So it's a tricky one. And over 3.5 bookings. Milan derby, we're going to see cards. You get that 12.95. So this is really all banking on extra time here.
I'll be on the screen, man.
Oh, it's not on the screen. Sorry.
Oh.
I've been waiting for you to come on the screen.
I've been reading it.
That would be nice.
It would be nice. It'll be there soon.
Because I know a couple of people want to get some kind of screenshots here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah, you know how much people believe in your codes, and as well as obviously you, and as well as me.
Are you going to come with one tomorrow?
Probably.
One of the long ones? The
Yeah,
what,
no,
what are we?
definitely.
The Clinton
Yeah.
Code.
Yeah, yeah.
The Clinton Code will be back again tomorrow for the weekend matches. And so, if you want 10 picks and...
Yep, 10
Yeah.
picks to get $1 million. Yeah.
Did it hit last weekend?
I mean, it was just one team, innit?
One.
By the way, on Sporty
Spread
Bet,
out
by
over
the way,
3 months.
no. By the way, on Sporty Bet though, and this is something I will start putting on my bet. So there is a selection where I can't remember the particular word, but if you have 10 games, you can select to say if 2 or 3 teams ruins it, is to get some certain amount that you could
Okay.
win as well. I mean, this is something would it's been on
Does it
Sporty.
apply if 9 games get ruined?
It depends on you. So you put £5.
Yeah.
you get ATP back.
All right. Well, while we wait for my booking code, maybe we go to your booking code. We'll see if maybe they have yours.
Yeah, maybe they have mine.
Maybe they have
Do
yours.
they have mine?
Do we have
Let's wait
Alex's
and
booking
see.
code? You went for Crystal Palace and Arsenal, I
I
believe, right?
did.
All
I've
right.
gone for a home win in this one. I think Arsenal will handle business. Gone for under 3.5 goals. I don't think it's going to be quite as entertaining as...
Hey!
Well, there we go.
Go Alex's one.
And I've gone for under 11.5 corners and both teams to score. So,
I see that one happening, actually.
yeah, home win, under 3.5 goals, under 11.5 corners, and both teams to score.
Under 11.5 corners, though. That's the one I'm not.
My reason for thinking is, one, Arsenal, I think, will be not too bothered. They'll be focused on PSG next week.
Absolutely, which means... Okay, go on.
Crystal Palace, won't be too bothered.
Why?
Because
Okay,
they've got
because
the
of
FA
yeah.
Cup
Okay.
semi-final
Okay.
on Saturday.
Okay.
They're both, well, I think both probably still quite tired from the weekend. It's not been that long of a rest. Arsenal played on Sunday. Palace played on Sunday as well, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it was Saturday.
Yeah, maybe Saturday. Actually.
Either way, wasn't the longest of break between games. I think Arsenal, obviously Liverpool, if they win in one more game, I think that's it. The title's done. I just don't see... Yeah, I think under 11.5 corners.
I mean, from what you've just said and considering it, I think it's definitely...
It's possible.
yeah, it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. I think it's just going to be two laid-back teams, not, chasing too much of trying to score goals. And, what's your... Have you done anything regarding goals on that bet?
No. So I've gone under... I've no specific goal scorers. Just
Okay, so under 3.5 goals. Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually a very good one. No. I think I'll go with that bet.
Yeah.
And for 13.48, though,
It's not bad.
that's not bad for real.
Yeah.
Sprinkle.
There
Sprinkle
you go.
action.
Okay, no, I actually see this coming through.
There you have it.
I definitely see it coming through.
All right, well, let's see if we'll get my booking code up there this time. Maybe.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Once again, just for you guys at home. Under 2.5 goals in this one in the 90. Both teams to score. Over 7.5 corners and over 3.5 bookings. I see cards in this one.
Yeah.
For your eyes, my friend. For your eyes. Basically, guys, I do see this one ending 1-1 going into extra time, and then all is fair, and whatever happens, happens then.
Sorry, no, this is just my...
We're just
Is this
getting
where you show your parents, oh, Dad, Mum, look at this meme on my phone. And then they go,
And then, yeah, it's one of them ones.
who's this?
No, but I think you guys have done some really good selections, though. In all honesty, and when you look at the odds as well, it's not so bad at all.
Yeah, Alex and I in the same kind of range here, 12.95 and 13.48.
4.8.
All on
Yes.
Sporty Bet, guys. So go sprinkle and let's try and make some money this evening. All right, Shantelle, let's come back to you.
Okay, so there were a few questions that persons wanted to know your opinions on.
Okay.
So the first one I'll go with. Anka says Iñaki Williams scored a goal not so long
in the
ago.
first 10 minutes.
Yeah. What do you guys make of his entire performance this season? He has really improved.
I think considering his age, he's still performing at a really good level. And I think he's kind of that super sub we see on the bench. He's not necessarily always starting. Obviously, in this match he is. But I think he is the kind of player that no matter what tends to impact a match. And that, whether that's scoring, whether that's assisting, whether it's just getting the ball and moving it forward, I think he has a lot of drive as a player. And I really appreciate that. You can see the effort he constantly makes.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think whenever I see, and this is perhaps just the romance? No, the
romantic?
The romantic.
Oh, here we are. Who's teaching who English now?
Wow.
Add that to your KlintonCod
this English
dictionary.
stuff, man.
No, I think I see players, and I think of over the years, I've seen players, and I don't want to pick too many out, but like Dimitar Berbatov, Nico Kranjčar, and then I think he falls under that column as well. And I'm really happy to see him do well.
So which player?
There's also a comment. Somebody wanted your thoughts on Alex.
Oh.
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Yeah, it was literally Alex. What do you think? If Chelsea doesn't secure a UCL spot this season, would you sack the manager?
A UCL?
Big, deep breath in.
Sorry, this season or next season?
If they don't qualify for the Champions League.
That's
This
top
season?
5. That's
Yeah.
top 5.
So if they don't finish in the top 5 this season,
They're 6 right now. They're
Should-
2 points behind Newcastle.
Enzo Maresca get the sack.
They're right there. That's the Champions League spot.
But do you guys not think, though, that where Chelsea was... I mean, the question was for you, so
I
I'll
was
say a
going to say,
question.
it's you.
I was about to say,
I just
do
remember
we have
that I'm
two
not
Alex
Alex.
here
I
now?
mean, even if I'm confusing my Alex, not my eyes at least.
There's 2 sides to this coin. If Chelsea don't
2 sides to
qualify,
every coin.
there is. It's very true. If Chelsea don't qualify for the Champions League, it will be seen in my eyes as a failure. I think the way that they started this season, they probably set expectations a little bit too high. The way that they were playing, people thought, could they even challenge Liverpool for the title? I never believed that they could go that long. However, if you look at the process that Chelsea have been on since this Todd Bowley takeover and with Enzo Maresca coming in the summer. I do think in the progression of this side, we are early in what we're doing in terms of completely resetting last summer to challenging for titles again. I think at the beginning of the season, and we'll come on to this later, that Chelsea wouldn't have even got near to the top 6. However, I think given the way that the position that they were in and how badly they performed over the last couple of months, I think it's been disappointing that they've thrown away the position that they had. Yes, they're still very well within reach of qualifying for the Champions League. They win on Saturday against Everton. That they're back into it. They've got 3 more points. They're level on points with, I think, there's 60 points if they win on Saturday. And sacking Enzo Maresca, if they finish just outside, might feel like a back to square one, and it will just delay the process even longer. However, I don't believe he's the man that's going to lead Chelsea to titles and successes similar to what Thomas Tuchel did when he came in at Chelsea. So the squad needs improvement. I would keep him, even if it depends on how badly they finish. If they finish like 4 or 5 points adrift, maybe. Also depends on who you're going to bring in. That's the big question.
When you say 4, 5 points, like what's your definition of if they finish badly though?
Like say they finish 1 point outside, they miss out on the last day on a Champions League spot. I won't be as disappointed, but if they finish, yes, I know they've got a tough run and they've got games against, I think, Forest, United, Liverpool. I think there's
tough fixtures.
I think some really tough fixtures coming into the last 5 or 6 games. I think if they finish, say, 4 or 5, 6 points outside this top 5, I feel like they've thrown it away. They've thrown away a real promising position.
Fair enough. No, see, if I was going to jump in to answer that question as well, right?
Clinton, do you want your own question, though?
Okay, please give me mine. Give me mine. I'm not going to help Alex anymore.
Blimey.
I'm joking. It wasn't a question, though. It was more of a statement. Shadrach says, tell Clinton, my idol, to place a bet Inter to score 2-0. On my prediction, he will thank me later. So I'm just passing on that message.
Okay, so basically, this person wants to do me a favor because I'm their idol.
I guess.
Caleb Kofi also told you to shave your beard.
Sorry?
No, I didn't want to read that because you'd hear that I'm not being nice. So I left that comment.
Have you shaved my beard?
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with no? Wait, look at how beautiful and sexy this beard is. Like, who wants me to shave it off? Like, if I shave my beard off, I'm going to look like Alex, man. Are you guys mad? Wait, what's wrong with these guys, man? No, look at.
The zoom in is mental.
No, okay, no, you guys are not zooming in this stuff, man.
All right. Well, Shantelle, you were speaking to some fans earlier today ahead of the big match on Saturday. Shall we take a look at what they had to say?
Yeah, we should. Wagwan sports viewers, hello! I'm here at the Santiago Bernabeu ahead of the Coppa del Rey El Clasico. So of course I'm going to be speaking to some Madridistas to see if they're confident ahead of that match. So let's go. You see winning this match, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Coppa del Rey final?
I think this Saturday Barca wins 1-2. Structurally, it's a little bit difficult, but we are the greatest club in the world, so we need to believe that we can win.
For sure, Real Madrid is going to win.
I think it's Real Madrid can win, and hat-trick from Mbappe.
I think Barcelona is in good form, but Real has the better individual players. So if they don't miss their chances, I think Real will win.
Well, I have a lot of expectation for this game, so winning Barcelona 5-0.
3-0 winning Barcelona.
I think it's going to be Barcelona, and I think it's going to be 2-1. It's going to be a tight game.
Making some French, Shantelle. I love that.
No, I was actually so shocked, like speaking to, they're not confident at all. They all think that Barcelona will win this one for sure. Because normally, like when I go to the Bernabeu to speak with fans, it's always, let's go Real Madrid, Hala Madrid, but nah, Barcelona.
It's tricky because of obviously what's happened in recent weeks and their record this season against Barca, but I think we have to remember it is a final. It's one-off, and this is kind of the last, in my opinion, this is maybe the last trophy Real Madrid can go for, because in order for, they still have a chance at La Liga, no doubt, but they need Barcelona to drop as well as them win. It's not just about them winning, right? And I think when you put your faith in other teams, it's always tricky.
Yes.
So that's why this weekend it's big for them, because I mean, I think it's all they got left. And Carlo Ancelotti, if the rumors are true, obviously will want to go out with at least some piece of silverware. But we know El Clasico.
Has there been any season though in Spain where Barcelona has won 3 El Clásicos?
3.
Or have there been any time where they've played 3 El Clásicos and one of the teams have won
I
all
want to
3?
say yeah, but I don't. Like, for example, maybe not by this margin, because they won by huge deficits the last 2 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just let's forget about the deficit.
The
right?
deficit doesn't
so,
matter.
Yeah, so it's more of what season have they had the highest amount of El Clásicos, and has there been either of them, whether it's Real Madrid or Barcelona, that has won all of it? I know it's going to be a lot of research to look at this one, but this is where ChatGPT does come in.
All right, well, you check ChatGPT. But yes, big match this weekend. We'll come back to that. Alex is maybe on the hunt here. Let's have a little bit of fun, though. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we are going to look at what Clinton, Alex, and I had to say in August.
Oh my God, this is the one I didn't want to see, man.
Alex, sit down. We've all made mistakes, and we're going to have to look at them right now. So let's take a look at our Premier League predictions for the top 4 this season. We also gave a surprise. Well, this is hard to see. Okay, we're doing it like this. So Alex Ashmore and I had Arsenal. Actually, Alex, oh no, because you put Tottenham Hotspur in there, then...
You had...
No. You know what? That's where we're starting.
But if you think...
No. Alex.
If you think about it, the way Tottenham played last season, they did well. They missed out on top 4, I know, but they were a solid side in their first season under Ange Postecoglou, and the way that I think the feeling at the club was, and they were feeling very positive coming into this season. I thought that they would build on that, and they haven't done. They've been poor. Yes, the injuries haven't helped, but...
If not build, I think they dug it back up and threw away any foundation they had.
I was expecting them to build on the rhythm that they had from last season, and, well, they've done completely the opposite of that. So, yeah, I'll hold my hands up. I got it wrong. But...
I mean, to be fair...
quite as bad as West Ham to play in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, between... Alex, you had West Ham in 6th. That's 1 place out of Champions League at this point.
But we didn't know at that point that it was going to be 2.
Okay, so 2 places. To be fair, the 2 of you going after West Ham. I mean, I know a lot of people... Because I remember, Alex, actually, you said... You're like, they've had a really good summer transfer window. They've done good work in the window. Meanwhile... I had Chelsea in the top 4. I do remember that. And Clinton, you actually had Chelsea in the bottom half because they weren't going to sign Victor Osimhen.
No, I think that one...
Wow.
That one, I mean, Chelsea fans, man. I don't know what to say about that one. I don't know if I should apologize, but, you know, yes. I did not... I definitely did not see Chelsea literally being on the 6th position in the league currently, and I don't know if I would say thanks to Maresca or is it to the side. I don't know what it is, but you know they've pretty much done very well. West Ham, oh my God, I'm so disappointed. Jesus Christ!
For those of you,
West Ham, I pour on that spit for face.
West Ham are in 17th. For those of you who don't quite numerically remember where they fall on the table, just above the drop point.
Also, a minor thing, and this is just a technicality, and it's me being pernickety.
Persnickety.
That top 4. Yes, we didn't know at the time that England was going to get 5 Champions League spots. How are West Ham going to qualify for the Champions League if they weren't in your top 4? Because they weren't in the Europa League.
Yeah, but I was expecting them to play good football, man.
What, and somehow ask the FA to...
I don't know, but I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, my goodness. Good catch, Alex. Oh, my gosh.
No, I was expecting them to just, you know, especially with Bissaka joining the team, and they had quite a few good signs. And even what's the Kudus? Like Kudus was somebody I thought was going to literally carry that team somehow. And seeing where the team is, like, bro, I can't believe it, man. There are quite a few players in West Ham that gave me that, mindset that this team, they are going to come extremely strong, towards the end, and maybe they might end up playing European football. Maybe not Champions League, but yeah, I did say Champions League in my prediction, but which is very bad. The one I'm actually kind of surprised at is the fact that I had Aston Villa still being in that top four.
Could still happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah, to be fair, your top four is better than, mine, but for sure Alex Ashmore's with that Spurs shout. I think. So we all have Arsenal, Liverpool, and United. That was horrible.
What?
That was horrible of me. Sorry, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. And those are the top three. Well done to us. And then it goes a little bit south there.
Having Chelsea for Sara, though.
It's not Spurs, so do you know what?
I know, I agree.
Also, I'd like to give myself a little shout for the surprise.
Sorry, wait. Spurs.
No. No.
Spurs! Wait. Do you know that? Wait, do you know where Spurs are right now?
Yes.
Spurs, they are very close to championship.
But last season they finished 5th. That is not a silly prediction to make.
Where do you think I saw West Ham when I was predicting though?
That was silly.
Is picking Spurs in the top four a silly pick?
I don't think it's stupid given how well they did last season. They were 2 points off the Champions League. They played really well and they were playing really exciting football. It looked like they were on the up from the way that Ange Postecoglou had started there.
One thing we also have to say is, if you guys remember, Nottingham Forest finished 17th last season, just above the drop zone, and 1, 2, and 3 put them in the relegation zone. So first of all, we have a massive apology to Nottingham Forest because you have proven all of us wrong.
Definitely.
And we've really enjoyed the football and hope you stay up in the Champions League. But Alex, just because clearly you can't base it off just where people finished last season, where teams finish, because, look at Nottingham Forest. They're the example. Also, Spurs. Do you know the history of this team in the last 10 years, 20 years?
I do. I had a little bit more faith in Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, you wanted it for Big Ange. It all makes sense.
There's a very high chance that Spurs could literally finish as the last team before relegation. It's a very high chance.
There's a good chance that
But
Manchester
they could
United
also be in the Champions League next season.
Yeah, that's true. That's true,
Quick one. I don't even actually remember saying this, but Brighton not finishing in the top 10 was my surprise of the season. They're sitting 10th right now. Brentford are 2 points behind. It could happen, but I can't really remember why I chose that and went after Brighton.
I think at the time we saw some kind of brightness in Brighton.
Brighton is a feeder team, so we saw certain players leave, and I think maybe that's why. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. They're sitting 10th. We'll see. Prove me wrong, Brighton, though, because I love to watch them.
Another big thing is no one predicted Liverpool to win the league.
Nah, I'm sitting here. No, I'm literally sitting here wondering, what gave you guys the confidence to put Arsenal to win? I think you have
Is this in the order? Because I swear for some of them it says
we
it is in the
order.
order.
Yeah, I think
is this where I had to pick Arsenal because you and Gary picked Man City and I did my prediction before you?
And you did pick Liverpool to win the Champions League, though.
That's okay.
That's true.
I don't mind.
But Clinton and I both picked Real Madrid, I think.
Yeah, I definitely did pick Real Madrid for.
We're doing well. We'll have to do a Champions League one. Happy days. All right, shall we move on to? Wait, let's just get a big one more time, just a view of all three of them, just one more time for everyone at home. Yeah. We're going to get absolutely roasted for this one, boys. Let's move along to La Liga, shall we? Because
let's go for it.
I nailed this one on the head.
You did.
Silly boys. So we'll start with mine. Barca, Real Madrid, Atletico, and Bilbao. As it stands, it can change.
To be honest, we all got the top 4 correct. The order, no.
That's the thing. See, this is where we say that the Premier League is like, of course, you would obviously expect Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, but there's a whole bunch of teams that you would still expect. But when you look at this La Liga, right, it will always be the same. It will always be Real Madrid, Barca.
Nacho!
Where is he playing now?
Stop it. Oh, God.
Alex Sevilla 9?
Wait.
Gentlemen,
Did I actually?
why did you guys both go for Sevilla? Did you guys
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
this?
No.
This was both of you just having a feeling? Sevilla guys are 15th in La Liga.
Wow.
I had a gut feeling.
But what?
But Nacho specifically is...
Yeah.
Sarah.
Well, I think there might have been a bit of bias involved in that decision, actually.
No, definitely, 100% facts.
He's
You
now
know
what?
that.
Still
Well,
at Middlesbrough?
Yeah, he is. Playing in the middle there, like trying to.
Again.
But hang on. Endrick, bad performance for Real Madrid, though. You think that's not? I mean,
2 goals all season. You were
Yeah,
supposed
but-
to be the golden boy.
No,
It's
no,
not
but-
his fault.
barely started.
It's not his fault.
I don't think
But if you
Endrick-
think
I
2
don't
goals
think-
all
I don't
season is
think-
good,
No,
I
but
don't mind.
No.
Barely
Considering
started.
the game time that he's had, I don't think
Yeah.
he's done bad, to be honest. No.
He doesn't get game time. I'm not going to say you perform well if you don't get enough game
No,
time.
but we've seen how
With
good
the
he is.
hype
Like,
that was brought around
nah,
with
but
this kid,
but
he's
but I
gotta be
think he's
playing.
lived.
I want to see him
no,
play.
No, but I think he's lived up to the hype, though. This is me. This is what I think.
You
Yeah,
think
he's
2
not.
goals all
But
season
like
is living up to
everybody
the
knows,
hype?
everybody knows
I don't
there
mind.
is no way he's going to compete that position with Kylian Mbappe. Like
Then- but we
he's
talk
only
about
like
him
how many?
having to
Do you know? Wait, sorry.
We literally talk about him leaving
Yeah, but
so
but
he
is
can
it his
play.
fault though? But it's not his fault.
I never said Endrick's bad performance. It's his fault.
No,
Endrick's bad
but
performance, Real
yeah,
Madrid's
yeah,
fault.
but no, but what I'm saying is Endrick is not had a bad performance. Like, okay,
You
guys,
can't perform
guys,
well if you don't play.
But I think what Clinton's saying is
you cannot quantify bad
predicted him.
performance by
I
the game.
don't think in the minutes that he's been given, I don't think he's played badly. Is
Yeah.
what Clinton's trying
I
to say.
think that with the hype around him, it's the fact that he hasn't been what we thought he's been because he's not breaking into that team.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Who breaks into? Listen, even if listen, let me give it. Hold on. If a Victor Boniface or a Victor Osimhen comes into Real Madrid right now, do you think they're going to bench a Kylian Mbappe?
No.
Exactly.
Those are the decisions they made.
No, but that's what I'm saying is there is nobody who comes in to that Real Madrid team playing that Kylian Mbappe position that's going to bench him. And for the minutes that he's been able to play, in my opinion, I don't think he's done too badly. Like he's been, you clearly see that he has something in him. He's just not been given the opportunity to show the world what he has in him. The few times he's been given it, we've seen how shiny he has been. You look at the problem with Real Madrid, he's not the only player. If we are going to say he's done badly, every single player in Real Madrid probably, we could say they've done badly too.
We definitely could. We definitely could, my friend. Alex Ashmore, I have a bone to pick with you. Atleti above Barcelona?
I thought, and we talked about this yesterday, given the way that they invested in the summer and the players that they brought in, Julian
Put all your
Alvarez,
eggs
Conor
into
Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher's basket.
I thought Atleti would show us a few surprises, and I thought maybe Barcelona finishing third because they would take some time to adapt under Hansi Flick, but I was completely wrong. Atleti have been disappointing, and Barcelona have been excellent.
Clinton, do you have anything to say about Nacho?
Well, I mean, the truth is, yeah, that was a very, it wasn't a silly pick for me. Fact is, yes, he's had a couple of bad seasons with, Leicester, and we saw Nacho was one of those promising Nigerian players, especially when he was in Manchester City. I mean, when you even look at the story of how Nacho even got to Manchester City, what we speak about the likes of, say, Phil Foden, today we are speaking about, like, there are some promising players, talents that we saw that Nacho pretty much matched that profile, right? And Leicester, of course, there's a reason why they call him senior man. The senior man is not just, is not, let me say it within our Nigerian way. Senior man is not cho. Like, he proved why he was a senior man. Right? And remember, he literally led a Leicester that won the Premier League. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Led,
and that was,
I don't know if it's the right
sorry?
word. Led.
Okay, no, sorry, maybe not led, but
played.
he was part. But he was part of the team.
Yeah.
Like, he was a senior man.
He actually didn't get a medal.
Okay. What do you mean he didn't get a medal?
He didn't get a medal.
From what?
You have to play a certain number of games to get a medal. He didn't play enough games to get a medal.
Okay, but did he win a Premier League title?
No.
Sorry? What do you mean he didn't? Yeah. No, check him, man.
He wasn't at Leicester when they won the Premier League.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was at Man City.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, yeah, Nacho, man. They catch us. But, no, wait. Okay, hold on.
No, I think we need to move along.
No, let's not move just yet. But I want to tell you the reason why I choose. Now, obviously, he had this really bad times in, the last couple of seasons in Leicester. It was not working out for him. And then him coming to Sevilla, especially leaving the whole country to a whole different. I even had a chat with him.
Yeah.
Like, we literally spoke, and I said, yo, listen, you know, this place, I don't think what's expected of you is as crazy as what was expected of you in, you know, a tougher league like Premier League. And, you know, it's quite unfortunate it still didn't work for him here. But the moment when he came, that was when I felt like, okay, this is the time for him to shine. This is an opportunity for him to show this year Nacho that we've missed seeing, this senior man that they've called you. But, yeah, he's not in Middlesbrough. I don't know.
He played 13 games, 1 goal, 2 assists.
I don't know if that is a pass mark for you so far.
No.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, so we might as well say it's still. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just thought Nacho was going to come into, and especially knowing that he has a Nigerian brother. Actually, there are now 2 Nigerians there since he's left. You know, I don't know who of you interviewed the other Nigerian player in Sevilla.
Juke.
No, Ejuke is the one that's been.
Oh, Aker Adams.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I would have been happy to see these 3 Nigerians, you know, reunite and, you know, do something for Sevilla. That was why I had that Nacho magic, you know, there. But
there you go.
All right. Heads up for everyone that is following Genoa and Lazio. 2-0 to Lazio, but Lazio picking up a red card. Can Genoa do it? Meanwhile, Parma leading Juve. About 9 minutes left to go. Let's shake up the Serie A. And now
Torino just scored as well.
Sorry?
Torino just scored 2-0 against Udinese.
That's
Maduka Okoye, what are you doing in that goalpost now?
Okay, let's talk about the Serie A as it stands, and then we'll get to it. So, all of us taking Inter to win. All of us also having AC Milan in our top 4. And my, oh my, were we wrong. Although I do quite remember at the beginning of the season, several people were looking at Milan thinking, they're going to have a good season. Because you said the players that they have. That's why I think AC Milan might be one of the biggest surprises in football this season because of how. But anyways, we were wrong. Shout out to Clinton for this one because he's the only one that had Napoli. I think maybe the thought process was after...
No, stop it. After what?
I was going to say Alex.
Oh.
Alex and I's thought process maybe after the Osimhen leaving.
Yeah, that's what I knew you were going to say.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that's not... I'm so happy that they're proving that Kvicha left and they're still fighting for the title. Go on and win at Napoli. But I think maybe that's what we thought. Silly kids we are. And then Alex and I both had Juve. Clinton and I both had Atalanta, which could be. And then, Alex, you've gone for the Roma shout, which is
it's
a
possible
possibility.
Still.
It's a possibility for Juve too, but this loss to Parma isn't helping my case right now.
And then, well, we both had Como to stay up, and
Come on, Como.
They're fast surpassing any expectations that I think anybody had.
Clinton, you were actually the only one that picked Como to be relegated, and they are what, 12th?
Yep. I mean, I'm always right though.
Well, that wasn't right.
Right.
But to be fair, I'll give you the shout for Lazio this season because Lazio have been putting in work and they've definitely been one to watch in the Serie A. So all 3 of our surprises are good in the Serie A. Maybe not our top 4s though. That Milan shout is really sewering all of us right now.
Yep. Definitely.
All right. Well,
AC Milan though.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't refer to Inter as Milan. I'd refer to them as Inter. Milan is AC Milan. Inter is Inter.
I just said AC Milan.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
No. I'm saying like the fact that we have AC Milan in the top 4, and where is AC Milan currently?
9th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying that we all literally went ballistic on that one.
We went ballistic on that one. Okay, we do have a little surprise for you guys, but before we get to that one, let's get to the comments because I'm sure we're absolutely about to be torched.
Well, there's a lot of persons basically standing up for Endrick. I won't say Endrick has been bad. He comes off the bench most of the times. He doesn't have the run of games to prove his quality. Yeah, I've been seeing quite a few of those. Also, what gave the confidence to take Arsenal to win the league? That Netflix team, every season you wait for the next season.
That joke will never die, though.
To be fair, I think they've buried that joke, though, with what they did to Real Madrid in the Champions League. No one thought they were going to be in the semi-finals.
I don't think that joke is buried yet because the fact is the whole thing is about trophy. It's not about beating Real Madrid. I don't know why most teams think that beating Real Madrid is a trophy already.
No, I don't think it's the fact that no one thought Arsenal were going to get to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah.
But they still might end trophyless.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole idea.
So you're waiting for the next
whole
season
whole
to get
Netflix joke is a
to get a trophy. Daniel says Endrick has done well for the few minutes he has managed to score some goals. Derry says Endrick is the top goal scorer in the Copa del Rey. Saw quite a few of those. And I also saw this comment, if Liverpool should sign Lookman.
Do you see Lookman in Liverpool, though?
That's for you. Yeah,
Sorry?
I was looking to you because it's for you. Will they retain the league?
I don't think he will be. I mean, because I imagine him doing. Because when you see Luis Diaz, sometimes. I don't think he will be a bad player for Liverpool, to be honest.
I think as well, you look at the players that they have in that forward line. There are some that could do with a bit of. I think when you look at.
I think Liverpool just need a prolific. Sorry, is that a word again? I've used
prolific.
Prolific, right? Okay,
Yeah,
I got it right.
To be competitive.
Yeah. No,
competitive.
Oh God, stop it, man. No, but I think all Liverpool needs right now, is maybe getting, a proper defender. The moment Alexandriano is gone from that right wing, and then a proper striker. Like when I say a proper, like a deader striker. And
I think so too.
Would be complete.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
those are the comments.
Well, to add to that Andre Copa del Rey top goal scorer, let's put that asterisk right beside Julian Alvarez and Ferran Torres because they're all tied for 5, and I don't think 2 of them will be playing on Saturday. Just saying. All right, we have a little surprise for you regarding that final on Saturday because we got up to, what would you call that, gentlemen? A little bit of fun.
We did.
Take a look at this.
What, guys? Coppa del Rey final, is it being played in Sevilla?
Yeah, Sevilla. Do you not know?
Have you ever seen the flamenco dancing?
Come on, man.
Flamenco.
Can you imagine Shantelle doing flamenco dancing?
Can I imagine you doing flamenco dancing?
Cuando paso por el puente Triana contigo, vida mía. Cuando paso por el puente Triana contigo, vida mía. Triana contigo, vida mía. Con mirarte solamente, Triana, me muero de alegría. Si para otro me dejara, Triana, de pena moriría. Cariño, te quiero y te querré. Eres mi norte y mi guía, Triana, Triana, lloré.
There we go.
You did better than I thought you would.
Oh, really?
You were not there.
Oh, okay. I retract that statement.
This is a 1-minute edited video. We were there for an hour and a
so
half.
you guys chose the best moments. Okay, noted.
A lot of fun, though, guys. And we learned a little something, and I love that. Obviously, headed to Sevilla this weekend and got to experience a bit of their culture and flamenco dancing, Clinton.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was, I mean, I've never danced flamenco. Fair enough, that day we did it was the first time I knew it was called flamenco. I always call it flamingo, because all the time people say flamingo, this is flamingo. And I'm like, yeah, flamingo. And I've, for some reason, the bird has always just played in my head. I thought it was something to do with the bird, but it was fun eventually. I enjoyed it. And no, I didn't. Right, yes, I enjoyed it. But I don't see myself doing it again.
Oh, it's too bad to hear because we're doing it on Saturday.
Oh,
Little did you know.
Oh,
all right, guys, that is it for us today. We hope you enjoyed the show and our maybe good, maybe not so good predictions that we had all the way back in August. Coming up right after this, we have Olympiacos and Real Madrid in the EuroLeague basketball, so stay tuned. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. So until then, as always, enjoy the Coppa Italia final.
Everywhere. I need fire on these hands now. Real Madrid. Po. Endrick a goal for me today. Yes, hat-trick. Let's see. Boo! What, guys? Coppa del Rey final, is it being played in Sevilla?
Yeah, Sevilla. Do you not know?
Have you ever seen the flamenco dancing?
Come on, man.
Flamenco.
Can you imagine Shantelle doing flamenco dancing?
Can I imagine you doing flamenco dancing?
Cuando paso por el puente Triana contigo, vida mía. Cuando paso por el puente Triana contigo, vida mía. Triana contigo, vida mía. mirarte solamente, Adriana, me muero.